Music multiverse listeners, welcome to Beyond Your Radio. This is Panelists Favorite Show A to Z. 2 weeks ago we did H. It was a hell of a good show. We had Billie Holiday, the Hollies, and Buddy Holly. Absolutely no relations of any of those people. Hall and Oates, no hockey relation. John Lee Hooker, Jimi Hendrix, George Harrison, Billie Holiday, and we even went from the honeymoon suite to the headstones. But tonight is brought to you by the letter I. Without the letter I, there would be no instruments. Oh my God, that would suck. No interlude. What? No improvisation whatsoever. The I's have it on this show, and here are the I believe in the most panelists. I'm with her, Susie Q. See what I did there? No, okay. This is going to end badly. No one independently labels Jeff Crichton ever.
He's my idol.
Oh, stop.
Stop. His voice is intellectual property, and we have to pay for it every time he's on. Ray Geska.
I made it.
He's used to the isolation booth, Alex Kalizny. No. He can be talked into intermezzo on the first date. Steve Scout.
Hi, Yves.
All right. So this is the I's, and I don't think this was difficult. I think this was involved. You had to take a look. You had to say, oh, I know those, but what else have I forgotten about? Because it's that letter doesn't have a lot of alphabetical choices when you combine letters. It gets a little ugly too if you're going into the metal realm. It gets a little immersive. But I guess we'll start with her. Susie Q, you're number 5.
Okay.
Let's get right to it. Let's get some people angry.
Yeah. So I went, well, no one should be angry about this. Enrique Iglesias. Haven't heard him for a while, but I was searching for eyes and, Hero came to mind. And he does have a beautiful voice, and he was very good looking for his time. And so, yeah, my number 5 is Enrique Iglesias.
All right. I love that record, the one record. I played it all
He
the time.
does have a beautiful voice. I just, yeah.
And I didn't care who was riding the motorcycle with him. Let's go to Alex Kalizny.
I almost didn't even have a 5, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's just ignorant.
If we're just
Enrique.
if we're talking our personal favorites, there wasn't really one that stood out to me as one that I could put in a 5 spot that I even really liked. But I was able to muster one because I had actually gone down a little mini dive of theirs lately, and there's not much to look at. But I don't know how, but they found me is the name of the band.
Yep.
And they got a little bit of this this sound that's a little bit like Muse, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
To an extent. It's not dead on, but that's probably the closest thing I can kind of relate it to. And I still feel like that's not even really the comparison, but
art pop.
Yeah, it's just the vocals very much sound the same, sound wise. Maybe not necessarily the music from that aspect, but only 2 albums from 2020 and 2024. It's just different. It's fun. They're easy to throw in the 5 for me. Just as someone that I guess I've enjoyed listening to. So
I think somebody had it on the that's your band name.
that might also have been me.
Ah. Nice.
Although for that matter, when I was looking through eyes that I could possibly have on my list to make sure I didn't forget anybody, I'm the Illuminati Hotties might be one of the best band names I had seen.
Good name.
I might have actually reviewed that album, honestly, to be honest with you. I do remember, I think, yeah. Anything goes. Steve Scouten.
All right. I agree with you, Mark. This is a toughie. Not a lot to choose from. but I think I have a fair. I'm sure I don't have the Crichton 45, but I've got a few. Um, so I'm gonna start with a, a singer-songwriter best known for um, his rockabilly vocals. Born and raised in Stockton, California. He got his start, and the song that really kicked it off for him was "Wicked Game." Um, he's done a bunch of stuff over the years, some movie work, soundtrack work. The short-lived Late Late Show with Craig Kilborn, he sang the theme song.
Hmm.
Um, one of my favorites, "Baby Did a Bad Thing." I'll go with Chris Isaac as number five for me.
Good choice.
Yep. A wicked game. Speaking of wicked games, Ray Keska.
Hey. All right, good. Well, thanks for having me. I was just busy watching Rooster and didn't realize the time was already here. I typically approach these lists with a top five of my favorites. Gotta admit, it was little more difficult in the eyes because honestly, outside of my top three, it kind of became a crapshoot. I had a few, one or two hit wonders that, I'll leave to the honorable mentions if we have enough time after Jeff goes over his. And then a few others that I just don't care enough to include. So at number five, I'm including this band because of where they stand in the history of rock and roll. I saw them co-headlining beast, a beast of a metal show back in 1982 with Judas Priest. Their lead singer has arguably the greatest range of any rock singer in history, and especially in heavy metal. They've influenced countless metal bands and helped shape the genre's sound and culture. Despite minimal mainstream radio play compared to pop acts, they've sold tens of millions of records worldwide, and they're still a major live draw decades into their career. Not a band that I'm likely going to throw on the turntable or on the headphones these days, but their greatness is unmistakable. Their lead singer is Bruce Dickinson, and the band is the great Iron Maiden, who finally got into the overrated and over talked about Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So there you go.
Kudos to them. That would definitely been on Jeff Young's list for sure.
Mhm.
Jeff Crichton.
Well, my number five sang her first record at her first hit in 1967, and she sang about the world as it was back then, and the song was called Society's Child. And then 8 years later, she sang about singing that song, and that song was At 17. An iconic folk singer who's got 23 studio albums under her belt and 5 live ones and a bunch of compilations. So my number five will be Janice Ian. Puzzled looks everywhere.
Yeah. Janice Ian. Did she get Songwriter Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I might have been watching when and I was like, I didn't know who that was at that point, but I remember. Yeah. All right. So
yeah, that's one I wasn't familiar with.
no, it wouldn't. 23 albums though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know there were that many.
Yeah.
So I am going to step off the plank to a love that I found just this year out of France. And his name is Gautier Serre, but that is not his stage name. But he is a complete instrumentalist. It's almost Baroque metal, grindcore, breakcore, classical, extreme metal. I have never heard anything like this in my life. And when this album started, I just couldn't believe the amount of monstrosity of music that was being compacted into this classical orchestral arrangement that went off the rails. The name of the band, which is just basically him, is Igor. Igorrr. So if you want to step off the metal platform, it's something to behold. It's truly it's metal to a symphonic level that has never been attempted, and he does it very well. So that's my number 5. I mean, yes, there were people but this one I've been just immersed in lately, and that was one I wanted to share. I didn't want to put him in honorable mentions because I've been playing the hell out of it.
I can only think of it's pronounced Igor.
Yes.
So, is one of his albums called What Hump?
Every one of them seems a little bit on the darker side of like the idea, but there's even trip hop in there. It is absolute bonkers, but well composed. It doesn't get to this, but his album last year was in our top Beyond Your Radio's top 25 of 25, and the name of the album is Amen, and it's a far cry from Amen, let me tell you. But just symphonic darkness. All right, back to Sue for something more cuddly and fuzzy and warm.
Okay. Well, since Chef Jeff isn't here tonight, I'm gonna represent this person who I'm pretty sure I heard for the first time or around that time when we took a trip over to his neck of the woods, and it was captivating. Uh, it's a gentleman known as Israel Keaoni Kamaka'awahawaloi. So known as
I thought we were on the eyes.
Is
his statement.
And best known for his Somewhere Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World. And I still remember, I think it was I guess I don't remember that. It was either our first or second trip to Kauai. And it was like the middle of the night, because the flights are so crazy there, and you're up in the dark and it's just stars, and I had my little headset on listening to this in my ears, and it's just beautiful. Um, don't know. I did listen to more of his music, and he does have a beautiful voice. I don't know that it resonated with me, but those two songs are worth listening if you've never heard Is before. You don't have to go to Hawaii to enjoy him. But yeah, I know he had a big following over in Hawaii, and I think he had a big heart, and he was just a big personality. So
Absolutely.
giving it to Is.
Good pick. Alex.
I'm not sure anyone else on the panel will be familiar with this one, but I know Mark would be. In 2018, their album The Silver Scream, very well known as, I would like to consider this band one of the better concept artists, or concept bands of the modern era. And I say that because pretty much everything they've done is with a theme. I know this year they're actually coming out with with a brand new album and a full horror movie associated with them. And even as complex as to when making a soundtrack for the American Psycho comic series, covered Walking on Sunshine with ska band Real Big Fish, which is a fun, unique combo between Real Big Fish and this band Ice Nine Kills. They are, in that metal genre, one of the more fun acts because everything that they have done has a theme and a purpose, in the sense that I know I'm not a horror movie fan, but I can surely appreciate an album where each track is themed after a different movie. Where at the very least I can appreciate that and listen to 3 minutes rather than a 2-hour horror film. So I would take them as my number 4.
You won't fall asleep on the ride on the night ride, that's for sure. Yeah, it's very entertaining. I didn't really appreciate them until you start talking about them. Then I got a few records, and yeah, it's fun stuff. Good stuff. I believe we go to Steve Scouten next.
Yep.
Was I next or Ray?
It's you, then Ray, because I wanted to go to Ray, but he was standing on the side taking a call or something. So.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I'm gonna go out to Provo, Utah, where the lead singer and the drummer from this band met at Brigham Young University and created a band in 2008 that have become one of America's big pop bands. From Radioactive and Demons and Believe and Thunder. Imagine Dragons is a fantastic band. Ray's son and my son had a chance to go to Toronto when they were a lot younger than they are now and see them and talk about that show to this day. And Ray, I think you've seen them. I never have,
Not
but
yet.
they anybody I know that have seen them love them, and
Yeah.
they're a solid number 4. Their music's very, very good.
Yes. Good
Yeah.
call.
We saw them at the Key Bank last time they were here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
The opening acts leave a little bit to desire, but it was Group Love and K Flay. But when they came out, I wasn't expecting much. I was stunned.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really was.
Yeah, the boys couldn't stop
like
talking about that show. So
Oh, cool.
Let's go to Ray.
All right. Well, number 4 honestly took some work to. I mean, if I had a top 3, I was good to go. But I want to play by the rules, so no ties. But again, I don't set the rules. Number 4 took some work. He had a number of hits in the '80s, some serious party anthems, some good jams. But a lot of it was a date and place. And back in the '80s, it was a good date and place. He came out of the punk scene with his snarl and his growl and helped bring the punk influenced music into the mainstream during the MTV era. Now, I will never be mistaken as a fan of punk music by any means, but this guy had a number of fun tracks. And again, due to the lack of the eyes that really grabbed me, number 4 is going to be Billy Idol.
Nice.
And out of Jeff Crichton.
It's a nice
No.
night for a Billy Idol.
Okay, let's go. What's going on my lip?
And
What's
then
my
you got
lip
the
doing? What's that
punk
doing?
on
I don't understand. Jeff Crichton.
Thank you. My number 4 was Steve's number 5. The great Chris Isaac. I worked his first 2 albums, and the first time I heard him sing "Wicked Games," I thought, like, now is this the son or nephew of Roy Orbison?
yeah.
He's continually made. I mean, like, his first 2 albums were just spectacular, and
Yeah.
he's gone on to make good to fair albums, since then. But he's worthy of the top 5. So Chris Isaac, number 4 for me.
Such a mesmerizing voice.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
I mean, if I had a number 4, if I really wanted to leave an impression, how about If?
Oh.
Or If, or maybe If 3. Hey, there's the guys from If.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love this band. Fusion, jazz, rock. They're
in my honorable mentions.
Yes. This again, this didn't come to me the minute they were, no, this is something I had to step back into. And this band first came to me when we had to do the show, and that's your band name, If. I don't know if that's a great band name or not, but if that's what you want, you did it. So
You
If
could
is
do
my
so
number
much with the album names with that. You could have named the album Only and have If Only.
Yeah, if only if I would have thought of a better band name, that could okay, they could.
The album name, I had $1 million.
Yes. Somebody made money on that.
Good
Back
for
to
you.
Sue.
Good for you for naming that band, because I thought when I named him as an honorable mention, people would be scratching their heads. So good for you.
Well, and the vinyls are all over the floor up here in the family room, so I was wondering what you grabbed.
Yeah, I had to go. I had to grab them. I had to.
All right. Well, sorry, Jeff, but I also picked Billy Idol
All right.
only for lack of eyes, but Honestly, though, again, uh, I go back to like the 80s and my drum corps years and Rebel Yell, White Wedding, Eyes Without a Face, Dancing with Myself, Moni Moni. Like these were all songs that were playing all the time and um just good times, good memories, fun. Billy Idol. I also was not, I've never been into the punk scene it for whatever, I don't know. It just never grabbed me. Uh, so, but he was just fun. You could tell he was a good time. And yeah,
Is it punk? Was it punk?
Oh,
not that,
No.
not the
Billy
ones that I
Idol?
Generation X
mentioned.
was.
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
right.
a.
I was going to say his band Generation X, they definitely were.
They were punk, yeah, but
Like
this was more
this was
pop,
maybe commercial punky pop.
yeah,
Yeah.
punky
But
pop. Ooh, I like
More
that.
more palatable than the stuff that preceded it.
yeah,
Yes.
so
Speaking of palatable, Alex Kalis.
Oof. Ouch. Um, I'm gonna agree with Steve here, but I put Imagine Dragons as my number 3. Don't really need to fill much in there, but the 2-song EP in 2021 that had Follow You and Cutthroat. 2 really good tracks that I don't think those ever landed on an album. So those were just fun little quick hit downloads for me that I always enjoyed too. So throwing that in there is my nugget, but Imagine Dragons at 3.
Nice. Who'd have thought? Look at all these generations. Imagine Dragons. Look at that.
imagine that.
Imagine that. If you could imagine. Never mind. Steve Scouten.
So I will take Alex's band, the Imagine Dragons, that started in 2008, do a little math and go back 54 years to, oh yeah, 1954, when this band formed.
No.
They came up with the song that we hear after every Bills scoring play.
Oh,
They are the O'Kelly, Rudolph, Ronald, and the late Vernon Isley, the Isley brothers.
Oh
Good for
yeah.
you.
They did Twist and Shout before the Beatles did it.
yep, yeah.
Yep.
This Old Heart of Mine, they did It's Your Thing, Do What You Want to Do.
Oh nice.
Hmm.
They're an iconic soul, rhythm and blues and funk band that uh, were they're best in class at what they did. So
And
yeah, easy number 3 for me, and I should probably rank them higher to be honest with you, but we all know who my number 1 is, so they're not moving him.
they 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 changed the world,
They did.
Yeah.
and they changed with almost every decade they were around. They changed.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that, Jeff, because if you listen to Shout and then you go to It's Your Thing, you can tell that they got a little funk infused,
Yeah.
maybe. And yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's why I never would have pegged that to be them.
Who's
yeah,
Well, they
Oh, yeah.
probably wrote Stroking.
they probably they probably did. Probably.
Clarence Carter. No,
All right. Well, I won't follow that up with speaking of. Ray, Geska.
Well, I was gonna say I was talking about the Eyes with Meg, and she would have put the Isley Brothers on too.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're getting a lot of mentions already, and
Meg.
very deservedly so. I discovered these guys back around 2012, and my son Nicholas started hearing them, became a favorite band of his, and he's still a big fan. And we're contemplating going to see them in Toronto in a few weeks from now. The band's known for their stadium-ready choruses, which is a really big draw for me if I'm going to see a band live. Just love that, as well as the real heavy use of percussion and electronic elements that they use. They're more pop and alternative than traditional rock, which really has helped them reach a wider audience. But of course, this has led to criticism from the so-called rock purists. But modern high energy rock with a pop edge. And I love lead singer Dan Reynolds, just what he can do with his voice during their songs. And I love how he'll carry around the beat on the big bass drum during some songs. It's really good. He's a really incredibly talented guy, and the band is fantastic. And I do hope that we get to see him later on in May. But the band is Imagine Dragons.
Over to Jeff Cried.
Be short and sweet with my number 3 pick because I'm sure other people will talk more in length about my number 3 band, including my brother Ray. But my number 3 band, my number 3 artist is Inxs.
Yeah, that's a hard one to keep off the list. As far as I'm concerned. All right. My number 3. I didn't go Billy Idol punk. I didn't go Iggy. But I did stay in that vein, but in the heavier, now newer punk, and I went with the Idols. They have one hell of a record a couple of years back, just the ferociousness of this guy's vocal and how it comes off. I remember playing in the car, and my daughter Lauren is like, "Who's this?" I was like, yeah, just lyrically delving right into it. No apologies for anything, and that's a hockey band. That's what gets played in a hockey, in the locker room, that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're a hot band right now, out of on the UK. I would say can't really compare them to anybody that of the past, because they use a bit of the past, but they really are ramping it up in an alternative kind of fashion, and how they play. And but Bad Brains, those kind of in that fashion where it's a little bit yelly, growly, infectious in a way. But that's my number 3. And then, again, another band that I didn't know about. They've had albums prior too, but once I heard this, oh my God, what was the name of the album? It's him with a balloon getting bounced off of it, and that I can't think of the title now. But yeah, all these have been recent. So, but my final 2 are old-ish. Sue.
Well, it's been talked about a few times already, but I also went with Imagine Dragons. Thank God for Imagine Dragons for coming along with an I name. Uh, Same reasons as everybody else kind of said. I really enjoyed Dan's voice. It's a great voice. I also love I think he represented, he came out, I think, early on and talked about depression and a lot of things he was going through. And I think for a lot of people, without, what's the word? I'm trying to think the word. He didn't capitalize off of it, but he just kind of shared his story and normalized it and showed that, you can go through these things and still go out and have an incredible journey in life and be talented and go rock concert venues. We stayed, I think, I want to say, Mark, I want to say my sister won us tickets to that show.
Yes. Yep. I wouldn't have paid.
But we were, we kept thinking, should we leave? Should we leave? But we wound up staying, and I'm glad we did, because it was a really good show. So
yeah, I was there pretty much. I mean, with the tickets now, I wanted to know what this Kay Flay was all about, because she was getting radio play, and this is the first coming of all these Billie Eilish kind of people.
I'm not a huge fan of her.
Wispy. So what was it? Butcher's Knife? No, whatever.
She had that collaboration with the Arkells too, and I still didn't understand her. I didn't care for her.
Didn't take all. I didn't think it would, but Imagine Dragons, yeah. Alex, number 2.
Well, I'm gonna steal this one from absolutely nobody, because they will not have it on their list. We're gonna go with I Prevail. Again, a little more in the metal genre. Great locker room, old school hockey style music that Mark and I would have had on. But in general, 2 of the more well written albums that ever resonated with me when I truly listened to the lyrics. Between True Power and Trauma, which I've said countless times on this show and other episodes. Not really sure how I feel yet, since they lost Brian out of the band. Just because I thought there was such a really good bounce off each other between Eric doing the unclean vocals and Brian doing he had a really good vocal range.
Mhm.
So I'm not quite sure yet. I kind of think it'll take me a couple albums to get used to. But yeah, they still land as my number 2.
Yeah. Good solid band. And they don't make it samey. So
No.
that's what I like. You never know what you're going to get in the next song. You hold your breath.
They change it up, but they have a consistent style.
Yep. Steve.
I am with Jeff Crichton. That Inxs belongs on this list. The thing I didn't realize was that they started in 1977, because I think I speak for America when I say I learned about them in 1987, when you couldn't go 5 feet without hearing something off the album Kick. Need You Tonight, or New Sensation, or Devil Inside, or my favorite, Never Tear Us Apart. Michael Hutchence was a dynamite at what he did. But yeah, Inxs was, I mean, from between 85 and 85 is kind of when they broke into the United States, but 87 is when that album just went bullshit crazy. And that's Inxs is solid 2 for me.
There were a few of us in that 85, 87 that were following that, because the goth kind of new wave that's where they weren't at that point, but they started with Shabu Shaba and the swing, and they were hedging their bet. They couldn't beat Depeche Mode, but they had to be, but the first 2 pop record, those 2 things, they don't get played a lot. those 79 and 80, maybe, is it?
I knew nothing of them until Kick. And then, holy shit.
Although I'll play Decadence. Never mind. Ray, what you got?
All right. Well, finally something to mix it up a little bit here. At number 2, for a guy who's traditionally gravitated towards blues and classic rock as well as the oldies, my soulful side reappears every so many years, and after many decades on the club and wedding circuit playing the great soulful vocalists, I grew to love this true and real rhythm and blues. This guy was a standout voice in the 80s and 90s. His big break came when he worked with Quincy Jones and would voice two of my favorite ballads of all time. One song was the first song that my now wife and I danced to, Just Once in 100 Ways. And he goes on to voice a number of movie soundtracks and contributes to a number of pop hits with other artists, duets, with Linda Ronstadt, Michael McDonald, You'll Be There, Patty Austin, and many others. Sad to have lost him in 2019, but his music is still a staple of R&B and pop radio, and just such a tremendous singer. He's the late, great James Ingram.
Good choice. I worked some of his records too.
Liked him a lot. Really did.
Was the sound the same then? Like similar to what you just heard? With Yamo Be There? Did they sound the same as Ray's?
More.
Very, very similar.
I just wondered. Like, should James Ingram be singing Ray Gaska songs at karaoke?
He should be.
Yeah, he probably would. Yeah.
If he were alive, of course.
Yes,
he would. He would.
Sounds of the Brother Ray.
Yeah.
Does Ray sing?
Oh my God.
Oh yeah. Oh well. Somebody could have filmed Ray and I when we were dancing and singing in the aisles after the Michael Jackson movie on Saturday night.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
We all made a vital mistake at the G's.
Grateful Ray.
Honest question, was it good? Because I heard there was weird reviews about that movie.
No, I enjoyed it.
It was very entertaining.
I heard good things so far. Yeah,
it was very good, and his nephew that plays him, spot on.
Yeah, it was good.
They cut it
off right after Bad came out, so
okay.
They cut it off before the creepy stuff started. So it was good.
Yeah, I heard I was really excited for it at first, and then I started hearing reviews that it wasn't as admired as it thought it would be. But so I was curious.
Don't
It's
listen to
good.
reviews.
Yeah, go yourself and figure it out, right?
You have to worry about him next in 2 weeks when we get to the Jays, unless you want to, include him in the M's, of course.
Jeff cried.
My number 2 is and this band was so important. They were this was soul music with a soul. And the 3 guys that made up this band, 2 of the guys went on after the main songwriter left. Fred Cash and Sam Gooden kept the Impressions going on for another decade after Curtis Mayfield left. But my gosh, the legacy and the music that Curtis wrote for them, including "I'm So Proud," "This Is My Country" in the late '60s before he left the band, and of course, "People Get Ready," which is almost an anthem of that
It's
time.
all right.
So the Impressions with the great Curtis Mayfield. That's my number 2.
It's all right.
They left an impression.
Mhm.
Not once, but twice. My number 2, I don't think I can escape an alphabetical letter where I don't go to Canada. Just can't. I try. I should be an honorary Canadian. They should, for all the people that watch those shows, all 3 of them. I Mother Earth.
Oh, that's right.
And I don't know how, if you're of my era, how you could not remember them or be of, but we must have seen I Mother Earth like 3 or 4 times. And of course, Edwin has had his own solo career and stuff, but double drums, insatiable rhythms, alternative rock, yes, from the 90s, but their debut album, Dig, was something to behold and was something different during that scene, and they got a lot of play from it and a lot of respect, and they tour constantly still, and it's with the Headstones or it's with the Tea Party or every other alphabetical letter you'll hear me mutter over the next 26 weeks. Anyway, that's my number 2. Geez, I wonder what my number 1 is. Back to Sue for her number 1. I got a feeling number 1's going to have some repetitiveness.
Yeah. Well, I probably would have replaced, what was my number 5? My number 5, I was Enrique. I forgot we had talked about I Mother Earth.
Now you're going with Julio Iglesias.
But anyway, yes, I too went with Inxs. I think, their band, they slip a lot for me. I forget about them, but then, the list of songs that I love and enjoy, it's very long. So, for the short time that he was with us, he and the band put out some good work, and I'm glad that they did. So, Inxs for me.
Alex.
I'm going to apologize for the fact that I probably should have had I Mother Earth at 5 as well, and I somehow completely missed them on that.
Me too.
Accepted.
So they are going to honorable mention. I'm going to look at every single one of your 5 Zoom screens and go, shame, 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 shame.
Uh-oh.
That this band did not somehow make anyone else's lists, and I know they're probably not making number 1 for anyone either. So I'm going to steal Jeff Young's selection because I know he would have them.
Yeah.
My number 1's going to be Incubus.
Incubus, yep.
Thought you were going there.
Yeah, good album. Good band.
Even to their most recent one was good. And the first time I heard it, I'll never forget them saying, yeah, new album from Incubus. And I listened to some of it and I was like, this is still good. And never got the love that they deserve. Very underrated quality, good band.
So behind me here in Pine Valley, New York, is my brother, and he is totally on board with your selection, Alex.
Yeah. Jeff Young would have had Incubus on there. It's on my honorable mentions.
Mhm.
I did see the band perform. It was unfortunate that they were not the headliner. They were the opener for 311 and Sugar Ray,
Oh,
and we left because they sucked. And Incubus was fantastic, but we were at the Armory in Rochester, and we're like, we should just go drinking. That'll be better.
How long did it take Sugar Ray to get out of concessionaire outfit to go up and sing?
Very
Yeah,
good.
I mean, don't get me wrong. There were some catchy tunes, but not enough to carry a band to be a headliner. Not even close.
Mark just wants to fly
Yeah, I didn't want to fly. I like
out
the
of that
brown.
venue.
Was it Brownies and Lemonade? Brownies and Lemonade? Is that the album? I could go grab it, but I won't. Steve Scouten.
Um, I'm not going to apologize for this because you hear me say his name every time I'm on this effing show.
Mm.
My number one is undoubtedly Jason Isbell. He is phenomenal. I've said it on here so much, I'm tired of myself saying it out loud. He's great at what he does. I'm instantly a fan. Um, from the time I've heard him, I go see him whenever he's around. I listen to whatever he does. Jason Isbell, number one with a bullet.
We're going to be getting you a Beyond Your Radio shirt that says "My I is for Isbell."
Yes, it should, and it should. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll wear it over. I'll wear it
And over
over
and over
the.
again.
I'll wear it over all the tour T-shirts I have.
I saw, was there a video recently he was playing with Derek Trucks, right?
Yes, yeah. They were just. There was just. It was Tedeschi Trucks, Jason Isbell, and Zach Brown.
I think so.
They
Was
all
it Zach?
played
Okay.
this week. They
Yeah,
were
it was over the
there
weekend,
all
I
this
think,
week.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I think the last time you mentioned him, I think Deb was on the show, and I could be completely wrong here, but I'm pretty sure she went and listened to him afterward and really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
was talking to her. Yeah, that was the night when we talked about the Southeastern album, which again, I'll say it for the 7,000th time. If you want to learn about Jason Isbell, listen to that album because it's him incarnate. It's everything you want to know about him, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, yep, I'll leave it there.
Ray.
Well, once I heard the topic was the letter I, there was no question who my number one was. U2 and REM might have, gotten more run over the past 45 years as top bands of the 80s, but both take a back seat to my favorite band of the 80s and 90s. They really did blend a number of styles, rock, new wave, funk, dance into a really sleek and radio friendly sound. And they were putting out a lot of good stuff long before Kick came out. I mean, there were the two albums that started in Australia, and then the first two, and kind of started getting caught up in that whole second British invasion sound. And then by 1983, that's when they first hit with Shabu Shuba with the one thing and what might be my favorite track by them, Don't Change, both on that album. And then The Swing came out, and I actually saw that tour. They opened for the Go-Go's right on Shirkston Beach, which
Oh,
was
wow.
incredible. July of 1984. Back in those days, the Shirkston still had the dunes. Those were not, destroyed for all for the trailer park. But this
Mhm.
show was just, I mean, it was raw, and that's when they really hit it, with Original Sin, and songs off of that album. And then, of course, 85 came with Listen Like Thieves. So there was a lot going on. Through the 80s with this band, and their lead singer, as Steve touched on, it was just that appeal that he had. He was often compared to frontmen like Mick Jagger just because of that stage presence he had. He was something else. The band's commercial peak, it was late 80s, but I'll tell you, they continued to put out some really important and solid albums into the 90s once that whole new wave kind of stuff ended in the late 80s, as grunge started coming on and killing a lot of bands. Here's Inxs, keeping pace with U2 with these, albums that were a little more critically acclaimed. And 1992 was probably my favorite album by them. Welcome to Wherever You Are, which was really incredible. And yeah, and I actually saw them again in 1990. They headlined at the Odd for the X tour, which is the album with Disappear and Suicide Blonde on it, which the Soup Dragons opened for. And of course, I'm talking about Michael Hutchence and Inxs.
Yeah, X's record is my number two. I mean that the Stairs.
Yeah,
What a song.
yeah. I really, just to throw in a last note, when Michael died in November 22nd, 1997, I was in my final, I don't know, final 6 months at the oldie station. But down the hall, and I think I talked about this on one show, down the hall, because we were in the same studio as 97 Rock and 103.3 The Edge, and Rich Wall, who was the music director at The Edge, brought over the Elegantly Wasted CD, and I just listened to that. I'm like, man, these guys still got it. And they were so great. And then when he died, that's when I started going back and really rediscovering the early stuff. And yeah, that was they talk about November 22nd being the day, JFK died, but it's also the day Michael Hutchence died.
Mm.
Yeah, I
Rest in peace, brother.
yeah, I don't know how much further that really would have gone. That last record is almost Rolling Stones like in the way it's put together. But I have a solo record and I listen to that from time to time, and that was really good. Who knows what he would have done and changed? It's like the Whitney Houston thing, right? You sit there and you go, well, what would she have been like at now, right? And Mavis Staples was the person I was trying to remember the other night, of the old school hanging on, right? But then having this marvelous record last year, like, just blues and just not singing the way she used to, but singing in the form that it means something and it hits you. It doesn't have to be as flamboyant and big as it was. It just like Robert Plant doing that way. And what would these people have been like if they would have been able to hang in there and not gone into the self-afflicted, things they did? But
hey, news alert! Jeff Crichton got booted.
yeah, he lost his internet connection out there near the Northern Lights.
Yes.
So I will
Aurora Borealis.
I will give you my number one. Wait, it's Inxs. So on that, I mean, there's not much more I can say. I will just say that when it comes down to it, I was listening to that band at the Shabu Shabah, but I only knew the single. I didn't have the album at the time, but I got the cassette for Listen Like Thieves, and then it was every one of those I went back. And when I went back to the first two, I went, oh no. No. What happened? Somebody made a horrible error. But I'm thinking of it when you're going back, you think, oh, that's terrible. But you're thinking, boy, somebody did something right and said, you know what, guys, you should probably not go that route. That's good. Bring in more saxophone, get a little more risque, get a little more edgy. And holy crap, when Kick came out, they had to be the biggest band in the world at that point. Honestly, that album is ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Live Baby Live came out too.
And that was okay. Here's it. We can't that be a discussion for another show, maybe, but this whole thing where you're waiting for that live record because you've seen the band and you want it to be something awesome, and it's not. And that is one of those where I'm like, it wasn't what I was expecting, because how Depeche Mode did 101. That live record is ridiculously good. I mean, fantastic. And then Inxs's live, I was like, man, it doesn't sound recorded very well. And like the Tragically Hip's record that we've talked about on this channel, that they're a live band and it just doesn't seem as live as I remember it being, or not even be able to hear the soliloquies and that, because it's not, that's important. Get that mic. And then of course they did the live record later that, from Road Apples, that makes all of it.
Yeah, I think in the case of the Hip, I mean, we're going down a rabbit hole, but I think in the case of the Hip, there's so many bootlegs
Yeah.
and you see them live and they're so good, anything is going to be a disappointment.
Yeah.
They were just that good live.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, live at the Roxy, I'd put
Yeah.
that up against anything.
That would be like if we had that. I think we've done this before, but I mean maybe do it again because there's so many great live records. I mean, really, they're stunning. Even Pink Floyd, over at Pompeii. It's a live recording. There's nobody there, but
Right.
When I was 4, 5, 6 years old, whatever it was, the one album that I used to bang the drum that I wanted to hear if it wasn't Crack the Sky was Moxie Fruvus's Live Noise album.
Yeah, that album sold more than their regular stuff. Jeff Crichton, you're number one.
My number one happened to be mentioned before, but it's a band that changed over the test of time between their arrival in the 50s, all through the 60s, all through the 70s, and all the way until they made their last record that was released back in 2022, short 4 years ago. At the end of his career, Ron Isley actually did a record for Warner Brothers, and that was kind of schmaltzy. It was like middle of the road R&B. And then we worked. He and Rod Stewart did a nice cover of This Old Heart of Mine that we worked as well. But Steve mentioned Shout, Twist and Shout, It's Your Thing, Live It Up, The Heat Is On. An iconic R&B band that started out as a party band, but they were a thinking man's R&B band by the time the mid-'70s had come around. And a strong number one for me, the Isley Brothers.
Yeah, I had a feeling. Could you say about them that the people that covered their songs did a really fantastic job of finding their own souls in that? I mean, Stewart and
Otis Day in the Night.
Otis Day in the Night.
Otis Day in the Night. Yeah. Lennon's vocal on Twist and Shout, where that was the last song that they recorded for their first album.
Great.
And his voice was so raw by the time they recorded that for the last song on the Please Please Me album. It was like their version of that song overshadows by a long mile, the Isley's version. So, and same thing with, Shout, became more popular, after Animal House came out. But they really paved the way. So they're my number one, the Isley Brothers, with a bunch of honorable mentions to come.
Go ahead with your honorables, since you're honorable.
A band that almost made my top 5. And I sent one of their albums over to Ray the other day. I don't know, Steve, if you ever heard of Indigenous.
I have.
They're outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
They put out 12 studio albums. They're from North Dakota. They're an American blues rock band.
Yep.
Very good. Very, very good. And if you haven't heard them, you should. My other ones, the Incredible String Band, who played Woodstock, a Scottish folk trio that became a duo. The Indigo Girls, who had a string of albums.
Mm-hmm.
Mark's band, If. It's a Beautiful Day, who had Whitebird. Some people might call him great. I'm sure. I wonder if the dude was on, if he would name Iron Butterfly.
Iron Butterfly was on his list. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. That's no surprise.
Yeah. Isley Brothers, Iron Butterfly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there was a band, well, 2 bands with the same name. One was a Long Island band. I heard their first album and I said, these are pretty good. They only put out one album after that, but the band called Illusion, and their first album came out in the, I think, late 60s, early 70s. And then there was a British band called Illusion. And that band was supposed to be a reunion of the old band Renaissance, who was formed by Keith Ralph after the Yardbirds disbanded. But he was going to start Illusion, and then he got electrocuted plugging in his guitar. And so Chris McCarty, who was also in the Yardbirds and Renaissance with Keith Ralph, kept it going with Keith's wife Jane doing the vocals on it. So there's two bands with the name Illusion.
Cool.
The end.
At the end. Ray, what you got?
Honorable mentions. Well, we heard a few of them. Indigo Girl, Donnie Iris. And then I had like a few one-hit wonders and two-hit wonders that had some really good songs, but I don't want to dig any further and kind of find some stuff that I figured out why they only had one hit. But some really cool I bands that had one hits were Icicle Works. Birds Fly, Whisper to a Scream was a great record. Ides of March.
Ides of March.
I'm Your Vehicle, Baby. And also Information Society.
Yes.
From the late 80s had a couple of great tunes, Walking Away and Pure Energy.
Pure Energy.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that cassette. It's never been touched.
Yeah, it's had a couple of great tunes. I remember playing those songs at 89.
Alex, do you know that
I was
one?
spinning at Molly's Pub back in those days.
I do.
Yeah, and then the others were mentioned. I had the Isleys, Chris Isaac, Impressions, Indigo Girls, and yeah, those are the eyes.
Alex.
Probably could have thrown the Isley Brothers on there just because I didn't realize how much they actually did that I've already heard.
Yeah.
I Mother Earth should have been my top 5, but they'll go on here because I just simply forgot them. Honestly, I really don't have any others. I was just more surprised that I was able to form a list that didn't have Billy Idol or Inxs on it.
Wow, there you go.
It's okay. That's
I never quite understood Inxs. I don't know what it is. I've tried to.
That's why you're always
follow the
wrong.
groove, and it just never struck with me.
Yeah, it's a different age.
I just want to know, have you ever been to a club and not a strip club?
What?
Isn't that one time in Gatineau on a recruiting trip? Oh,
yeah,
no.
I'm just saying
No,
because that's the kind of thing that is. That's a groove.
No, because I never really was at the old Trelf except for that one time with you for the 2 cover bands. That's as clubby as I.
No, we're talking about a dance
you've never been to a club, Alex?
Dance club.
We need to take Alex to a club.
I don't even know if there are any anymore.
A little club.
We probably have to go to Europe to go to a dance
Is
club.
Electric City a club?
I don't know if I would call it that.
Anyway, I
Were
digress.
you in any clubs in high school?
Just
even what was it? Yellow Jaguar. That was like underage clubbing.
I was going to say different kind of club in high school, but it was really just like legitimately a club in high school. Yeah. That's about it.
Okay. Like meat market, women are dancing on the floor. That's the kind of atmosphere. And if you don't understand that atmosphere, that'll be problematic to some degree.
Yeah.
Although, have you seen the Lost Boys movie?
I've not.
Good
you need to watch the Lost Boys.
That's a
you
great.
haven't seen the Lost Boys? Did you just say?
Inxs and Jimmy Barnes.
What?
Jimmy Barnes and Michael Hutchins do 2 killer songs. They don't just do one; they do 2. Oh man, Jimmy Barnes, man, he can sing.
Yeah.
That man can sing.
Sure could. Yep.
I'm not saying they're bad. They're just not one that I really ever gravitated to go back to once I tried to listen.
Well, we'll tie you down and we'll subject it to it. And Steve,
the only one that hasn't been mentioned that I think might have been in passing was Willie Nelson's sidekick into All the Girls We've Loved Before.
Julio
Iglesias.
Julio, yeah.
And if you want to go to a club, Alex, there's always the Dexter Lake Club where you could see Otis stay in the nights.
There you go. Hey, how about Ice-T?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or Ice Cube, baby.
Yeah.
You can have them both.
Yes. I had the Indigo Girls as a 6 on mine.
Yeah, they were just outside of mine.
They were solid, and they were big with Lilith. Lilith Fair was a big deal back when I was in my Sonic Youth.
Lilith Crane too. Yeah.
Yes. Little Stringman Crane.
Yeah.
Honorable mentions. So I have two, as I always do. So my first is If These Trees Could Talk. This is post-rock, post-metal, and it's done without vocal. This is nothing but instrumental, and this is a band that believes in not one guitarist, not two guitarists, but three guitarists, bass and drum, and they make some noise. Think Russian Circles, God is an Astronaut, Pelican, are they out of Texas, I think? They're from Akron, Ohio, so if you like Akron, and you want to give it, this is not going to be your Black Keys, but anyway, interesting band. They've been around since 2009, and they're due for an album because it's been a few years since they put one out. Then my number one honorable mention is Iron and Wine, and that's folk rock Americana under the singer-songwriter, and why am I not remembering his name? He uses Iron and Wine, but he is Iron and Wine. He does it all. But how I learned of him, I didn't come to him through just Iron and Wine. Calexico. He partners with a lot of the guys from Calexico, multi-talented artists there, and how their band is, and the meshing of that jazz, dark jazz, desert jazz rock, and that got into his folk, and I love that. So Iron and Wine, I think their album they did together was an EP. It was In Rains, Reins, from 2005. If you're interested in looking at that, but I just reviewed this year. He did Hen's Teeth, his new record, and again, an artist who's pushing the lyrical envelope. Very intelligent writing. Not going to get it the first time around. Might be a little offsetting, but it's brilliant stuff. I'll thank the panel tonight for doing this. It's been an eye opener. We'll move to J's in 2 weeks. We should be able to find a bunch of J's, I would think. I don't know. Maybe there's a superstar in there somewhere. We're on the web at beyondyourradio.com, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, obviously YouTube, articles, videos, and podcasts coming soon, all about albums, bands, artists, anything we can get our hands on. Go Beyond Your Radio with us, a real music appreciation channel. Hopefully this was under an hour, and I won't have to edit the hell out of it. Thanks for watching, and happy listening.